Hello, my name is Anders Hildebrand and I'm the Managing Director of Anglo-American Oil Company, who's a representative of Sunoco Race Fuels in Europe. And we have, together with Grand Am, run a program which is called the Sunoco Rolex 24 at Daytona Challenge. And the main object of the challenge is to increase awareness of the Grand Am series in Europe. And we have, for the first 2 years now, been running it with the British Formula 3 Championship, the British GT Championship, the Radical UK Cup, and the Sports Prototype Series. And it's a challenge between the racers. They challenge each other by collecting points from fastest laps, from pole position and race positions. And then at the end of the season, we divide the points they manage to tot up with the number of races they've done, and so we get an average point score for the whole season, and the highest average point scorer wins a race seat, and this is quite amazing. They win a race seat in the Daytona prototype at the Rolex 24-hour race. It's the biggest prize in European motorsport, and we started it 2009 was the first year. It was won by Radical Cup UK champion Derek Johnston, 47-year-old father of two, who came to Daytona and was owned by the enormous of the place, the banking, but he had a life experience. He wouldn't believe what he had to go through, and to learn how to left foot brake and slow down from 195 miles per hour in a car that is very brutal to drive. The second year we caught the attention of all the Pro-Am drivers, the professional youngsters that wants to make it big time, and suddenly the whole challenge intensified enormously, and it was the same series this year, and it was an intensive fight between two hotshots, the Frenchman Jean-Eric Vergne, the British Formula 3 champion eventually, is tested for Formula 1 in Toro Rosso, and Ross Kaiser from Radical UK Cup. Ross became the Radical UK Cup SR8 champion and the European SR8 champion. And at the last race, he managed to get 2 race wins, 2 fast laps, and 2 pole position, which meant that he had the highest average point scorer. And he won 9 days of exclusive testing and the race it at the Rolex 24-hour race. And the team he's racing with is the Doran Racing, very experienced, under the manage of Kevin Doran. And we are lucky enough to have Ross Kaiser with us. So Ross, this is your first visit to the very famous Daytona Motor Speedway. What are your thoughts?
Well, just trying to take it all in initially, Anders. Like you say, the place is huge and it's the biggest prize in European motorsport by far. So what Sunoco have put together with the Daytona Challenge is absolutely fantastic. And just coming here to Daytona for the first time, experiencing the banking, driving the infield section in the night time, and just being out on track with the likes of Juan Pablo Montoya, Dario Franchitti, Jimmy Johnson. You really do have the best of the best in terms of drivers. So you've got the best drivers from Formula 1, IndyCar, NASCAR. So looking at the timing screen, and then Kevin Doran saying, right, you're up, you're in the car now, and you're out on track with them is something very special, and I'm thoroughly enjoying myself.
Yeah, we had the first test, and the first time you drove a DP car was at the very tricky VAR circuit, and you surprised everyone by being 4th fastest in the afternoon, and that showed that you're very good driving at road courses. But coming to Daytona, where you have enormous speed and enormous slowdown section, that put it a bit into perspective that it was not just about turning left and right.
Yeah, for sure. The first test at VAR was fantastic. I settled in the car pretty quickly. And the circuit there it's a great track. It's very undulating, and it's much like the circuits we drive on back home in the UK. So I kind of felt at home there. But like you say, coming to Daytona probably doesn't look as technical as some circuits, but it's actually very tricky. There's a knack to obviously carrying your speed through the banking, the bus stop out the back, and like you say, you're braking from nearly 195 miles an hour down to the first corner, which is first gear. So it's something I'm having to learn. The fastest the car I race in the UK this year goes is 160, and you only have to push the brake pedal about half the pressure as you have to push the brake in the DP car. So there's lots to get used to, and like you say, come to Daytona for the first time. It's just a huge experience, a dream come true, and lots to take in terms of learning how to drive the banking, braking, such late from such a high speed, which I'm not used to. Obviously the car's a little bit different. I'm in a closed top car and I'm sitting on the left, whereas I'm used to being sort of buffeted around in the wind, so I usually know how fast I'm going. So yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to, but we've had 3 days here. A little bit slow getting going. The guys been working hard on the car. Then the last 2 days we've had a lot more track time, and I had a run out on the final day today on old tyres, and I've done some pretty reasonable times on tyres that would be right at the end or just over a stint distance. So it's good that we know the car is settled and comfortable at about the hour mark on the tyres, because we're going to be in the car like for a full stint. It's going to be between 55 minutes and an hour and 5 minutes, and then the chances are you may stay in the car, take a new set of sticker tyres and then go for a double stint. So it's important that the car's set up, as well as being obviously quick on outright pace and new rubber. It's a 24-hour race, so the key factor is having a car that's consistent and drivable.
Yeah, but it's not all about the car, the team and yourself and the other DP cars, because you have the GT cars at circuit at the same time. And of course they are a little bit slower on the banking and on the infield. What is like passing cars sort of trying to negotiate the traffic on the banking?
It's tricky. I've done a few 24-hour races before, but usually the machinery I know I'm in is slower, so everything's happening at a slower pace, so you've got more time to pick your way through the cars. Like I say, if you're doing 180, 190 miles an hour in a DP car and you come across a slow GT, it really does come up quickly and catches you by surprise. So it's going to be very important during a race stint to really maintain your concentration, certainly when you're running at night as well and the visibility is not quite as good. There is a big speed difference between some of the cars, so that's going to be a very big aspect of the race. I was fortunate enough yesterday to be taken round the circuit by Hurley Haywood, which was a phenomenal experience, and he gave me some really good pointers. He said the most important thing is staying out of the pits and keeping it on track, managing the traffic to your best of your ability. You need to get through it as quick as you can, but don't take a risk on lunging a car and damaging the car. And yeah, just a few other pointers just to help me along the way.
Now, a lot of people, they compare the Daytona prototypes with the LMP1 cars like the Peugeot, the Audis, with the closed cockpit ones coming up now. But when you look at the grid here, you have nearly 20 cars. They all seem to be very, very similar in speed, and the field is full of amazing drivers. Why do you think they all like to drive at Daytona in the DP cars?
Well, I think it's just the spectacle of racing at Daytona. It's one of the biggest races in the world, and it really does. Until you actually come here and see the lineup of all the teams, you don't realise just how many great drivers are here, and I think it's growing from strength to strength as well. We've got guys like Nicolas Malassian who races in sports cars back in Europe, and then, like I say, Juan Pablo Montoya, ex-Formula 1 driver, now racing in NASCAR, Jimmy Johnson, NASCAR champion, Buddy Rice, Justin Wilson. There's just the name, it's just endless, the names, and the top cars are running 3, or certainly a lot of them are running 4 professional drivers. So yeah, it's a hell of an experience, and the race is going to be very tough.
So how do you fancy your chances?
Well, never say never. We're here to win, so we're going to give it our best shot. The Doran team are doing a great job. They're giving us a reliable car, and I think it's just going to come down to maintaining the pace. I don't think anyone's going to be able to sit back and relax at all. It's going to be more like a 24-hour sprint race, but we've got one more run today. We'll carry on developing the car, and I think we should be in good shape for the 24.
Well, good luck, Ross. We will watch you closely at the start and finishing line.
Thank you very much.